Noah touched a little bit on this in his vows, but Noah knew from a very early age that exactly what he wanted, and even in a woman. He was once at a sleepover up in North Conway, and Colin Trapicchio asked him what he looked for in a woman, and Noah said, I actually look for 3 things. Let's see if he met all his criteria. First, she had to be pretty. I think we can undoubtedly say
Into the mic,
beautiful.
Lori.
Second, she had to laugh at his jokes. Caitlin has an amazing sense of humor, and the first time she met Phil, she told him he was on the wrong side of the line. He crossed it and he didn't come back.
Way to go, Caitlin.
And the third thing was, she has to like you back.
There you go.
And brought her into our family. And Noah, you've always made us proud this day. It's your vision, the 2 of you, and you've done a wonderful job. We're so proud of both of you.
Caitlin and Noah asked if I would give a small speech, and it's been so busy I never got to ask how short. For weeks I've been jotting down ideas and thoughts, and well, I got it down to 1 hour and 16 minutes, so I hope that's short enough. On a serious note, I want to start by acknowledging and thanking Caitlin's mom, Pamela. Pam, as I look at Caitlin today, beautiful and happy in a wedding gown, I can't help but think back to the early years and realize we truly did a great job. She's a beautiful, strong woman with a huge heart, and we should both be very proud. I don't want to go any further. Without acknowledging Noah's parents, Lori and Phil. I want to thank you for both opening up your hearts and your home to Caitlin since day one. You both welcomed her into your lives and your family since the very beginning, and I knew back then this was going to be special. Noah's a special, kind, caring man. He is because he was raised by such a loving, caring family, and I sincerely want to thank you both for all you have done. Caitlin is very lucky to have such great in-laws. Since the first day I held Caitlin in my arms, she has always been Daddy's girl and my little princess. Caitlin, I don't know if you know exactly how proud I am of you, but you have exceeded all my expectations in every facet of your life from the time you were a little girl until today. I spent years trying to stop this day from coming. All the evil looks I gave various friend boys. They were brave enough to endure a first introduction. Luckily, there weren't many that came back for a second introduction. And then there was Noah. I liked him instantly. I don't know what it was, and I can't even remember giving Noah the look. I never remember trying to intimidate him, and if I did, I'm sorry. He was kind and compassionate, he was grounded, and he liked to cook. That might have been his in. And most of all, he made my little girl happy, and he fit in instantly.
Page 2.
It's only 6 more. Okay. Anyway, I let my guard down for a few weeks back in the early years in Tufts, and look what happened. I'm truly glad that you found each other. You are perfect together. I'm not going to give you any marital advice, but I will offer you some happy life suggestions. Forgive often, compromise often, try never to go to bed angry, always kiss each other goodnight, forgive often, and compromise often. That was a hint. I looked up how to write a speech, and they told me not to use the old cliche, today I didn't lose a daughter, but I gained a son. But I truly feel today I'm gaining the son I never had. And I feel like Lori and Phil are gaining the daughter they never had. So as you can see, I don't follow rules easily, and I use the old cliche anyway, because it fits perfectly here today. With that, I'd like you all to grab a glass and raise it up. I guess we got this one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And help me wish Caitlin and Noah a very happy and healthy, long life together. I love you both very much.
I want to thank everyone for being here. It is such a special event for everyone to be here. They're such a beautiful couple. The only thing that I'll say that doesn't come in Chris's is a unique little story of when Caitlin went off to college, and I thought to myself, I cried for weeks and weeks. Every day at a particular time I would just cry, and Marissa's saying yes. For no apparent reason, she's like, "Mom, why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I am." And she was fine with that. So for weeks we drove with Marissa in the back wondering why her mother was crying. And I was crying because I wasn't certain how Caitlin was going to make it out into the world and be fine without me. How was she going to do all this out there without me? And I know her strengths and I know her weaknesses, but anyway, we shuffled her off to Tufts and we sat there at the matriculation ceremony and we looked. We were in awe at all the people and how excited everyone was. And we packed up all her things and we dropped her off, and then we waited, and there were a few calls here and there, but it was one particular time that stands out in my mind. And I went to get her and we were at lunch and she was telling me about Noah. And I said, oh, Noah. She's like, yeah, well, Noah, we went out to lunch, and Noah, we went here, and Noah took me there. Noah even made me breakfast for my birthday. Made me breakfast for my birthday, and so I turned to her and I'm like, wow, Noah's a really good friend. And she looked at me and she said, Noah's my boyfriend. And I said, okay. So apparently in all of this,
First time I hear this
am the
conversation.
in all of this, I have turned out to be the naive one, but not in all of this. We always knew that Caitlin would be successful and do well in what she does, and now she has someone who is equally as successful as her, and they will just thrive and be a team and do the things they want to do and raise a family. Not too soon. We have an agreed date on that. Because Caitlin plans everything, as everything is. But anyway, so I'm just glad that you could all be here to share this very happy moment for us. And thank you to all, and thank you for Noah's family. They've really accepted us, and we've probably tripled our family size with just yours. I come from a small family, so it's great. It's really great. And I'm going to pass the microphone on to whoever's next.
I've known Noah for about 20 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about. I wanted to kind of tell a story about how we first met, but I can't remember how we first met. It just has all just faded back into the recesses of my mind. When you've made as many memories with someone as I've made with Noah, it's like hard to imagine ever having a time where they weren't there in your life. So I was going through the old Bancroft and Doherty yearbooks, trying to find some clues about, like, oh, did we have a class together? Were we in this class? Did we, meet in the 3rd grade? Were we in 2nd grade at Shawsheen? I didn't have any of those resources. So while I was looking through there, I saw in the 5th grade, I believe it was, Noah has a beautiful quote, and he has a little bit about what he wants to do with his life, and he says that he wants to be a medical or a genetic scientist. And somewhere along the line, he fell into this whole physics and space crowd, and I don't know when that happened, but it's kind of hard to see that you've given up on your dreams. But all that aside, we were never the cool kids growing up. We were Back in, what was it? In Bancroft, I believe, we were in an IT club together.
Yes.
It was called the SWAT team,
Yes.
otherwise known as Students with Ability in Technology. Rather than going to recess and hanging out at the playground, you know, like most other kids want to do, we were inside troubleshooting old ancient Macs and Alpha Smarts too. Maybe bringing the TV cart in for the teachers. After school, our whole posse, Zach and Greg over there included, we spent our time going to our parents' houses in Andover, going to their basements, and playing video games, watching movies, eating a ton of Sweet Mimi's candy until, honestly, we probably should have had 20 cavities by now, and then, given that my dad's an orthodontist, that's not the best look.
I have 5. Sorry.
And we always, our means of transportation in those days were we had matching red Trek bikes that were, it was pretty cool. The seat wasn't attached at the seat post, it was like suspended. It was a nice looking thing. Noah still has it, so he'd like to. So at the start of high school, that was the end of our academic life together. We moved on to different schools, and we started growing different friend groups, started growing separate interests, and this is a really good thing because I could not have pulled off a drum major's uniform as well as Noah did. Really knocked that one out of the park. We traded in our matching bikes for cars, and hanging out in our parents' basements every day turned into hanging out in our parents' basements every week, and then gradually even less and less than that as we started gaining responsibilities and just becoming adults in general. And then once we moved to college, that was kind of the end of us living in the same state together. It's actually been, we haven't since then, and our hanging out's been limited to mostly summers or holidays. And the amazing thing though is that no matter how much time has passed between the time that I've seen Noah last, it's like everything just picks back up. It's like just seeing old family again, and everything just flows back together. And so the first time I was introduced to Caitlin, Noah had moved into her dorm room, I believe, essentially. They were living there with about 18 fish and a giant 20-gallon tank.
It started with 3 fish.
It started with 3 fish, but they quickly screwed up. And
They like to listen to you.
Oh.
and then over the last 7 years of their whole relationship, I've been lucky enough to see them grow together, and I've gotten to know Caitlin, and I've gotten to see how perfect you two are for each other. How you're both two of the hardest working people I know, but you're also two of the most loving. So, staying as close as you have for the last 3 years while living 3,000 miles apart is truly a testament to your love, and I'm so proud of you guys. So, here's to Noah, Caitlin, and a lifetime of happiness together. Cheers.
I would like to welcome you to the Robert Young Estate Winery. I think it's been a pretty amazing venue thus far, right? Now, what some of you might not know is that Caitlin has been thinking about getting married in a winery as far back as May 24th, 2014. Probably sooner, but that is the first time I have it in notes. This should not be much of a surprise, as one of Caitlin's greatest abilities is her foresight. But, what we sometimes forget because of Caitlin's strength in the area is that Noah also has quite a mind for premeditation. I bring you back to another night in early May 2014 to prove my point. Oh, she knows. So, at Tufts, as at many other schools, the graduating class is celebrated from the time between the end of finals and graduation with luncheons and parties and pub crawls. Oh no. Now, Caitlin and Noah had decided to attend such event in Davis Square, and they, being the responsible adults that they are, decided to walk home instead of taking Noah's trusty car, Larry. Now, as they started their walk, Noah realized that he had made a grave mistake by setting off without relieving himself. So, they stopped by 30 Pack, Alyssa's, and my apartment at the time. Sitting on our couch in his beer-laden state, Noah announced that if he were to meet God, he knew exactly what he would say. Caitlin, with her great sense of humor, interjected, "What? Thanks for the great GF?" To which Noah replied, "No. Turbo 2. Now, for those of you who have not seen the 2013 DreamWorks classic Turbo, it is about a snail with a love for race cars. And after a freak accident, he's endowed with the super speed. And with many trials and tribulations, he goes on to win the Indianapolis 500. So, what was Noah planning for Turbo 2? What qualities and characteristics was he looking for in a sequel, or a future life for, Theo or maybe himself? I hazarded a guess. Support. Turbo 2 is Theo continuing to pursue his passion for racing, knowing he has the encouragement of his family, win or lose. Just as Caitlin and Noah will have each other by their sides for all of life's challenges and victories. Exploration. Turbo 2 is Theo using his speed to explore new cities and continue to travel outside of the confines of his garden, just as Caitlin and Noah have traveled together and have much traveling still to do. Fulfillment. Turbo 2 is Theo acknowledging that the pile-ups and false starts have helped shape the champion he has become. As Caitlin and Noah have found that stresses and mishaps, whether injuring a finger or a shell, can bring you the bit of you that makes you better, faster, stronger, and bolder. Caitlin and Noah, I love you both, and I'm so appreciative of our friendship over the last few years, and I wish you Turbo 2.
I slept right through it. There's no album.